Now you may know that in some circles online, I'm known as Danny Big Flicks, and the true power of my forehand has exceeded all attempts to measure it. But this isn't the internet. At least for me, this is real life. And in real life, my forehands go like 300 feet. So I set out to fix that. Sorry to interrupt, just look at this real quick. It's getting better, but like, come on guys. To start with, I went out a few days ago and did some field work because I knew this would take more than one session because my forehand is not very pretty. There are a lot of things wrong. My weight shift is all kind of wonky, lean backwards, lean forwards. My step is way too big. My arm is doing something wrong because it actually hurts after a few throws. And from what I've gathered, you should be able to get more than like 3 forehands in before your elbow starts hurting. I started with like a hammer drill. You swing it back and forth and you can kind of feel where it's supposed to hit, right? Where your release point is supposed to be. And so if we take this vertical swing here and we move it horizontal, you end up with this kind of a motion here, where your forehand starts back here where it's supposed to, and then it swings up and extends forward right at the peak. And that was really easy to feel with the hammer. And so without any sort of footwork, any sort of walk up, I tried doing that for a throw. And it actually felt pretty good as far as my release point and everything. It ended up being yanked over on an Anheuser just because I think I was holding the disc too high, but that swinging kind of motion was what I was looking for. And so I tried that a few times, and then I would look at the video, and then I go back to it and try and fix it and try and do better. And eventually I tried to do a short kind of shuffle step. That's like the forehand footwork, I guess, that I usually like, is to do a little bit of a shuffle step there. So I tried a few throws actually throwing with the shuffle step, and I was happy with my feet being less far apart because my goal was, I saw a few videos online that you don't want your left knee to go forwards, right? So as you're throwing, you don't want your left knee to go like that. You want your left knee to stay in place and your right knee to go forward so that it drives your rotation rather than absorbing your momentum and pushing it down into the ground. So the goal was to get like that kind of a motion. Not that exaggerated, but at least stop my forward motion with my left knee and use that to drive my hips and everything else in the throw, just like you would in a backhand. You don't want your right leg to keep going forward. You want to use that to drive your rotation and push back. So that's what I was trying to focus on. But what I noticed was I was still leaning backwards, and that's kind of where I left off in that fieldwork session. I was kind of coming back and then forward, and that balance was really off. And so I think what I'm going to work on today is keeping my torso a little bit more vertical or even leaned forward and really getting that backwards push on that front leg. Because you hear a lot of people when they throw forehands, they hear that stomp down with their foot. And I think that has a lot of value in providing power, but I think the focus there should not be just stomping your foot, but pushing back with it to get that rotation. So let's try some throws. I'm gonna work up to that Ricky Fallon I was holding. I wanna actually throw that one good. So for now, I'm gonna go back to the standstill so I can focus on just driving my hips and getting that rotation and like that smack motion where it's like, it's a swing, not so much as it is like a pull. Not bad. Trying to get that rotation and not lean backwards. Keep my weight over my feet and push back with that front foot and getting that. That's a lot of things to think about at once, isn't it? Anyways. Yeah, I didn't really have a good release angle, but that at least felt right. Yeah, that worked. This is a Maverick. It's kind of like my lower body is sliding out from underneath me. That's weird. I was gonna go to a run up then after a few standstills, but I think I'm gonna keep working on that because I feel like my lower body is like sliding out from underneath me. And that's kind of what's causing me to lean back. So I wonder if huh. Oh, that was better. I'm gonna try just to swing a few times, see if I can do it without the lower body sliding. That was it, I think, right? Because I didn't, yeah. Okay, so if I don't go backwards at all, then I don't go forwards at all. If I just stay right here and go. Did I slide forwards there? Okay, I'm gonna try a throw like that. Turns out habits are hard to break, huh? Not going backwards or forwards. Did I go back there? No, that's just turning. Okay. So I just did the hip thing right. That. And now I gotta do that a few more times just to get the muscle memory in. They're coming out horrible, but I'm just worried on the lower body. Yeah, that's horrible release. So now I'm trying to do that, but with a step. So I go, am I leaning forward enough? Am I not? Yeah, I think I was. It's just hard when my brain has to shift from doing the motion here to actually throwing a disc. As soon as you're actually throwing, it's like it tries to revert back. Whoa, fell backwards. I may have pushed a little bit too much with my left foot. Or maybe that's a reflection of the balance, the leaning backwards thing. Lean forward a little bit more. That was good. Awesome. I threw it good. These are the new, I guess the limited special edition. I don't know what they're called. They're Lucid X Enforcers, and they are so overstable. Now that's how every other disc has flown because I've been throwing them poorly. But I can tell you that one's overstable. That's right, we're flicking mids now. All right, let's do one more, like after all those practice throws, one more like test before I go pick everything up to see how lower body is looking. The release was horrible there. That's a full 50 feet left of where I was aiming. But we're working on that one later. So I'm still leaning back like a little bit going into it, but I think it's good enough that I can go start, first off, pick everything up and then start working on my upper body so the shots actually look better. And we're back. I just picked up all the discs and here we are. So I think I've got a pretty good feel for that part of the throw. And I feel like, I know a lot of players I see get a lot lower as they're throwing, and I think the feeling is the same. It's just more speed. So I'm not gonna do that yet because I'm still figuring it out and I wanna get the muscle memory and everything and the balance at the slower speed so that I can scale it up later. But okay, so I've been working on lower body so far and kind of, as I've said repeatedly, not really caring where the disc goes because I'm not worried about my upper body. My arm's just kind of swinging as I go. So now it's time to worry about that. I think my biggest problem in the past has been I will swing the disc behind me, right? If I'm throwing that way, I'll bring the disc all the way back here, like, oh yeah, I'm really gonna crank it now, and I end up sending it that way. Or I don't reach back enough, I just kind of go to like here, and then I throw it straight that way. I think my mentality about forehand before was pulling the disc through, and I don't think that was as effective for me as the swinging motion is, where it's like that. I keep just doing this because it feels really good, right? Just like I don't know why, it just feels good. Taking this and then bringing it up to level, the difference between throwing a hyzer like that, right? Yeah, like that, or an anhyzer like that is just the bend in my arm. It's still swinging through and then extending. It's just the height that it does that at. So if I'm going hyzer, it's got to swing low. And just naturally for me, because I'm trying to focus on standing up straight and coming over, I tend to yank over like that, especially with distance drivers for some reason. So I'll try to come through on a little bit of hyzer on just about everything. And I think the mentality I need to have is that I can swing the disc out here. My release point can be out here. It doesn't have to be over here. It can swing just like a backhand where it kind of swings forward and then out, just like the backhand kind of goes straight and then out. I think that's the same kind of thing for a forehand, just more of like a swingy kind of a motion. I keep leaning backwards even as I'm demonstrating now. It's gonna be a hard habit to break. Okay, well, let's try it. Okay, so I'm going 4, a little bit of hyzer. This is the Ricky Orbit Felons. Okay, that wobbled a little bit. But I feel like that did okay. Oh, that was really good. Yeah, that felt really good. No. A little bit farther away from me. Out there. Okay, that was well right of where I was aiming, maybe not that far out there. Okay, now drivers, I think because they're deeper, I tend to yank over more on that anhyzer. So let's see if I can do this one on hyzer. I think I leaned back there, but that's a clean flight. That's exactly where I was aiming too. I'm not even like throwing for distance. I'm just kind of, that's the thing. It used to be like I was throwing harder, and now I'm just kind of pushing harder with my hips, my lower body. And my elbow, like it hurts a little bit, but I would never have been able to throw this many forehands throwing my other way. I don't know how far that is. It's not very far, but it's at least less effort. Okay, this is what I hope to replicate on the course as my forehand. Yeah, that might have been flat. Let's see how the video looked. Still leaning back a little bit. Left knee is going backwards though. I wonder if pulling my left arm in would help. That's what Clemens always talks about, how pulling your left arm in can add power. Oh, I'm gonna try that. Oh, I didn't do that right at all. Nope, that was bad. That's pretty clean out of the mid-range. Oh, I have more Frisbees up here. I forgot about them. I have another Raider too. All right, I'm gonna try and throw this one flat and straight and see if that makes any difference. Because I was throwing them on a little bit of hyzer, at least trying to. Yeah, that definitely came out on Annie. Probably have no business throwing Raiders on forehands, but I want to. Okay, now you might actually be able to see how overstable this Enforcer is. I'm gonna try and come over on this one a little bit. Yep. That was yanked over, and it skips right. Yeah, those are overstable. But I am starting to get a blister, or I guess just a cut, maybe. I don't know. I don't have calluses right now because it's the off season. So I'm gonna stop practicing forehands for now. I kind of don't want to though. I want to keep working. Whether or not I keep working and worsen this cut, I guess. I don't know. It's not all the way through the skin, but it kind of looks red. Let me know what you think about forehand physics of form, if I'm right, or if you have any other tips for me or others in the comments for their forehands. Make sure you subscribe for more content on how to become a better disc golfer, and we'll see you next time.